Hello there guys, Count here, back on a video, and today I'm going to do What If Deku Was Reborn part 29. Hope you enjoy it. So last part, Deku meet Jin, one of his masters, and the one who make him his armor. They catch up the time they lost. Then Deku meet his son, Sai, and he fought him to gain his trust. He win. Then he starts training with Sai to learn a new technique it called Mana Zone. And I think that is for the summary. Let's begin. So after the fight, Sai start teaching Deku the basics of Mana Zone. Deku understand them and start trying it. Sai tell him that it took him almost 3 months to learn the Mana Zone, and Deku have only 2 months. Before the armors are ready, he need to learn the rest on his own. Jay just facepalm a bit. Sai ask him what's wrong. Jin tell him, you will see, you will see. Sai was confused. Then he looked at Deku and he see him using a bit of Mana Zone. He's not at the level of Sai, but Sai was shocked. He tell Deku, how did you learn it this fast? Deku explained that he have a unique skill. It's called Fast Learner. It basically let him learn anything really quickly. Sai looked at his dad and told him, you know about that, right? Jin nodded him, yep, but I think this was a bit quick. It usually take him at least a day or two. Deku told him, well, about that. My unique skill evolved. That's why I learn even more quicker. Jin sighed and tell him, how much power do you need, K, to be satisfied? Deku smiled and told him, I don't know about that. I'll always aim for higher power. And once Sai heard that, he smiled and tell Deku, if you keep getting stronger, so am I. Deku smirked and tell him, try to catch up a bit faster. Then Sai replied, you want to fight me right now? Deku got in his position and tell him, bring it. They start fighting again, and during the fight, Deku start getting more and more used to his Mana Zone. And that combined with the power difference between the two, it pushed Sai to do something he never think he's going to do. And for me to clarify something, Sai can use water and air. So he started readying his Mana Zone, and Deku see that he's up to something. Then out of nowhere, Sai yell, Mana Zone, Typhoon. And the attack make a direct hit at Deku, and the attack was massive. Sai think he's overdo it against Deku. Then he hear Deku talking, wow, that was a good attack, Sai. But like I said, it was too weak to work against me. Then Deku started revealing himself that he's okay, without a scratch on his body. Sai tell him, what? How? Then Deku tell him, I just told you, I'm much more higher level than you. Sai tell him, how do you know about my level? I did not mention it before. Deku tell him, right, completely forgot about this. I have this unique skill, it's called appraisal. And when it is activated, it gives me information anything I see. For example, your skills, your level, and give me one more thing. I usually call it my menu. Sai tell him, your menu? It basically let me see what type of aptitude that I have at my level. So you can say that I can see mine and your level. And I am much higher than you. Jin is dumbfounding. He knew Deku was strong, but not this strong. Then Sai asked Deku, what is your level? Deku tell him, I'm 305. Sai and Jin yell in disbelief and in shock. What? 305? Deku tell him, yep. Jin tell him, how? When? Deku tell him, well, I think it's because my unique skill, Fast Learner. One of their side effects or bonuses, she gives me a fast leveling growth when I'm using it. And for me to just refresh your memory, Jin, I did fight/train under Drake. So you could say that the more the opponent I'm fighting is higher than me, the faster I grow. Then Sai yelled, that's cheating. Deku tell him, well, I did not ask to be reborn with this power. Sai tell him, reborn? You're not an otherworlder? Deku tell him, well, it's a bit complicated. Then Deku explained how he came to this world and how he got his power. And because of that, Sai started asking Deku a lot of questions, but Deku don't have any answer to them. Heck, even some of the questions Deku asking to himself. Then Deku started asking Sai about his new technique. He called it Typhoon. Sai nodded him, yeah. That skill is called a compound skill. Deku replied, compound skill? Sai nodded and tell him, it happened when you combine 2 elements at once. Before the Mana Zone was created, if someone wants to use the compound skill, you have to combine the power of 2 magic users at once that can learn in perfect unicity. But after the mana zone was created, you only need one magic caster, but there is one condition to use it. You have to have two elements that can work together. For example, water and air, or fire and air. Then Deku tell him, so you cannot combine fire and water, got it? But what happens when you combine three elements at once? For example, water, air and lightning. Sai tell him, I don't know about that, plus I never heard of someone that have more than two aptitude to magic. Then Deku tell him, well, you're looking at one. I can use more than two elements. Sai start laughing a bit, tell him, you're joking, right? Deku tell him, no, I'm not. Then he start using a bit of wind. Sai tell him, well, you have two aptitudes, lightning and air. Then Deku tell him, well, and this is the third one. Then Deku got started by his fire, and with that his clothes start getting dry. Sai tell him, okay, that's true. Then Deku accidentally burned a bit of the ground. Then he tells Sai, let him put it down. Then he used water. Sai just yelled, come on, this is the fourth? Are you actually telling me that you have four elements? Deku tell him, nope, I can use all the elements. Sai tell him, what? Then Deku just create a shadow clone. Then he tells Sai, I can use heal magic also, so that's that. Sai and Jin are literally shocked. Jin tell Deku, what are you, kid? I knew that you have a lot of potential in you when I see you the first time, but this is outrageous. Then Deku tell him, well, I think that Ray know about this, because he did use some type of rock on me and did he tell me that I have a lot of potential to learn another spells or other aptitudes. That's why he sent me around the world, or basically just travel. Then Deku looked at Sai and told him, can you use the second level of water? Sai shook his hand and told him no. Deku told him, well, I can. Then he create a bit of ice. Then Deku tell them, I can use the second level of three elements, fire, electricity or lightning, and water. Both of them are just literally shocked. They cannot even utter a word. Then Jin asked Deku, you just told us that you can use the second level of fire, right? Deku nod, and Jin asked him to show him. Deku grinned and create a small fireball and throw it at Jin and tell him catch. Jin catch the ball and he starts screaming a bit, then he realizes that the ball is not hurting him. Then Jin tell Deku, what the? It's not hurting me. This is a flame, right? Deku nod, tell him, yep, this is the second level of flames. It's called dragon flames. And from the name alone you can realize that Drake teach it to me. Jin asks him what is the benefit of dragon flames. Then Deku tell him, except for the increase of firepower, you can control it however you want. For example, you can make it not burn your target, or keep on burning him until he's dead, or nothing left of him. Jin tell him it's a great and terrifying technique. Deku agree with him. That's why he doesn't use it. Then Deku look at Sai and tell him about the compound skill. Jin is a bit nervous and tell him, yeah, what about it? Deku tell him, you did tell me that you have to merge two elements at once, right? Jin tell him, yeah. Deku tell him, okay, let me have a go. Deku ready his mana zone and he fire a typhoon much bigger than Sai's one. The look on Sai's face is a face of total defeat. Then Sai told his father, I don't think that he's human, right? Jin tell him, I don't know about that, son. I don't know. But I'm sure of one thing, he's a good guy. Sai agree with him. So let's say fast forward few days, Deku continue his journey with Sai. He mastered his mana zone. He learned couple of combos. Wow, that was a mouthful. One of them is just the opposite of the typhoon. He's using fire with wind. And third one, he's the one who created. He mixed three elements, lightning, water and air. So one day after his training session with Sai, coincidentally they passed by the throne room. They hear some commotion. They decide to sneak a peek. They see 5 new people. It seems they are adventurers and they are human. But there is one of them is wearing fancy clothes. Then Deku looked at Ray and seemed a bit upset. He asked Sai does he know them. Sai nod and tell them I know them and they are trouble. Deku tell him how so. Sai explained they have this treaty with some nobles around the city and majority of them are good guys. But there is some of them that he wished to cut down himself. Deku asked him, is really that bad? Sai nod tell him yeah. Then they keep listening. Then the noble that was with the group, he tells Jin that they have an agreement to give them this amount of raw material each month. And this month was low. Jin explained that they have some problem mining this time around because of monsters nearby. And there is not enough powerful warrior to defend a large group. Then the noble cut Jin and tell him I don't care. We have an agreement. I know you are demi-human, so basically you are a bit stupid because you're half animal. But I think you can understand, right? All the gods in the throne room get ready to attack, and the adventurers ready themselves to fight back. Then the noble give one snarty comment. They'll tell them that every adventurer in this group is above level 80. And because of that, the guards are a bit hesitant to attack, because the most powerful between them, it's level 60. And before Jin can order his men to stand down, Deku bursts through the door, looking very upset. Jin see him, and the look on Deku's face he never see before. Deku slowly walked toward the group. Then the noble tell him, "Who are you? Let me guess, you are his servant or something?" "So an animal having an animal." And the moment he said it, Deku speed toward him, push him in the gut, sent him flying toward the roof. Then he come down toward the ground hard. The adventurer didn't have enough time to react, and when they do, Deku already create 5 lightning columns, all of them holding their weapon in front of the adventurers. So basically telling them, you move, you're dead. The noble starts slowly getting up and he's in immense pain. Deku slowly walk up to him and tell him, "Look here, you bastard. I don't give a flip who you think you are. If you badmouth Jin ever again in front of me, you won't even have time to regret it." The noble finally get up and tell him, "Who you think you are?" Deku tell him, "Well..." Then he power up to Zeus cloak and he appear his armor. "I think this will give you a hint who I am." The noble doesn't know who he is. Then one of the adventurers tell the noble that he's Dragono, a diamond level adventurer, and he's the one who defeated the army of monsters that attacked the capital a few weeks ago, single-handedly. So you don't want to mess with this guy. Deku smirk and tell him, "I think you should listen to your adventurer if you want to stay alive." The noble knows he's no match of Deku, so he think quickly on his feet. He look at Jin and tell him, "Do you know what it is? This is war, right?" Deku cut him off and tell him, "Look at me right now. I have no relation to Jin, except knowing him by his name. So if you have a problem with me, it's only with me. And if you want war, remember, I am the one who defeated the army of monsters alone. So you better be prepared, if you mean it." The noble start yelling at his adventurers, basically, to do something, but they are literally powerless against Deku's technique. Deku ordered his clone to stand down, then he looked at the adventurers and tell them, "Same goes for you. If you want to stay alive, get out of here before I change my mind." The adventurers accept immediately, and they start to walk out. The noble tried to stop them, yelling at them and telling them just useless and cowards. Then Deku shout his name and tell him, "Just to make sure, if you go after Jin, or anyone that he love or care about." Then Deku vanish and appear behind him. Then he whispered inside his ear, "You will never know the feeling of peace again. Do I make myself clear?" The noble is utterly terrified. He nods and runs off. Then Deku ordered one of his clone to just follow them just in case they do something, and make sure they go outside the city. The clone vanish, and the 4 others return to Deku. Deku start looking around, and he see a lot of shocked faces. Deku just tell them, "What?" Then Jin tell him, "You grew up, Izuku, a lot." Deku shook his head and him, "Well, I'm almost 20, so I have to grow up someday. By the way, why did you not tell me about this monster problem?" Jin tell him, "I don't want to bother you." Deku tell him, "Nonsense. If you need my help, I'll gladly give it. Plus, I'm just bored of just staying in the castle day in, day out. And I think Sai need a break from me just beating him up." Sai yelled at Deku from across the room. Everybody laughed a bit, then Jin just thanks Deku for everything. Deku smiled, his biggest smile ever, and tell him don't mention it. Then Jin tell him, "We are heading out in 2 days to the mine. I think you can wait that long, right, Dragono?" Deku smiled and him, "Yeah, I can." Then they leave the room. Later that day, Deku meet the group. He tell them what just happened. Kaminari make the robot is almost like a game. Deku agreed. Then he showed them his new technique, Mana Zone, and his new abilities. Then Bakugo tell Kaminari, "I think the gap between us is getting more and more bigger, right?" Kaminari nod. Then after the group relax a bit, Deku take Momo aside and ask her on a date. He tell her it's been a while since just 2 of us hang out. Momo agreed. So next day Deku have his date with Momo. And sometimes some kids ask Deku is he really Dragono. Deku confirm it. They ask his autograph, Deku give them, with a bit of encouragement from Deku. Then one of the kids asks Deku, "Is this your wife?" Deku face turn red. Same for Momo. Deku tell him, "No, she's not. She's my girlfriend." The kid tell him, "Ah, okay," and he runs off. Then Jarvis coming to Deku, "Yeah, she's not your wife. Yet." Deku just going a bit. Then he brushed off and tried to continue his date with Momo. And he told her next day he's going to do some mission with the mine group so she don't have to worry about him. Momo gave him a kiss and tell him, I know you're strong, very strong, but be careful, okay? Deku nod and tell her I will. So fast forward to next day. Deku wake up, he put on his armor and walk outside. Along the way he meets Sai in his armor. Deku asks him what he's doing. Sai tell him, I know you're strong, but I'm going to accompany you nonetheless. Deku tell him suit yourself, and two of them walk outside. When they arrive they see a huge group of miners. Deku asks what is this? Jin was there, he tell him, I know it's a big group, but I think with you around they will be safe. I know I'm using you, but sorry, my hands are tied. Deku tell him, nah, it's okay, I know. You let me in your house, you give me food, you treat me well as my friend. And that without what you did to me years prior. I think doing this is the least I can do. Jin smiled and thanked Deku again. Then he tell him, I'm going to send some of my guards with you. I know you can handle anything on your own, but this is to just make the miners feel safe. Deku understand and they go on their way. So fast forward when they arrive at the mine, they start mining. Then Deku asks one of the guards, what about these monsters? The guard explained that they can sense or smell their presence, because usually they attack when it is a large group. So a group this large will definitely bring out some monsters, so just be on guard. Deku looked at Sai and he understands what is going on. Then a few minutes go by and Deku started hearing some noise. He asks Sai, does he hear anything? Sai shook his head and tell him no. Do you? Deku tell him, yeah, I can. There is a large amount of monsters or something is coming near us and it's coming fast. Deku put at the direction where they're coming from. Everybody get ready. Then some horde of monsters are appearing and there are near 1,000 or so. Deku smile and tell Sai, can you handle this? Sai tell him gladly. Then Sai yell Mana Zone, Typhoon, and he killed most of them. And the one he did not kill were away from his attack. Deku tell him my turn. Then he yell Mana Zone, Lightning Spears. And he create hundreds of spears and throw at the monsters. And it was overkill. Everybody start watching in awe in Deku's display of power. Then he tell him, that's it? The guard tell him no, I think they are just scouts, so the main force is still up ahead. And the moment he say that, Deku can hear footsteps. Deku tell him, yeah, I can hear them. They're coming, so get ready. Then Deku remembered the first time he attacked a large amount of werewolves. He killed them and make them retreat. Deku tells Sai to stay down, he have a plan. Sai agreed and he stand down. Then some of monsters start showing up. Then more and more and more. Deku assumed that the numbers are between 1 and 5,000. So he crossed his hand and started powering up his electricity. Sai never see Deku use this move before. He asked him what is this move. Deku told him this is my final move. Then when he say it, he's completely charged. Then he yelled her name. Extinction Wave. Then Deku fired his attack, and when it did contact, it erased everything that it can touch. But Deku purposely hold back, so some of the monsters survived and ran back toward their hideout. Deku explained his plan to Sai very briefly, and he told him to just keep lookout for the miners, and he's going to get rid of this problem for good. Then Deku started running toward the direction where the monster runs off. He followed them for a while, then he found their nest or their hideout or whatever you wanna call it. He goes straight at it, killing all the monsters and defeating their king. And just to make sure, he put on his armor and power up to his max, and because of that everything was destroyed during the explosion. The same way he accidentally killed the adventurer that tried to kill him. But Deku just triple check if any monster survived. He didn't find any, so he just fly towards Sai again. Overall it took him almost like 50 minutes to be done with it. Sai is a bit wary, then he see Deku flying toward him. Deku fly down, then Sai tell him, can you fly? Deku tell him, yeah. Then Sai tell him, I'm afraid that next time you're going to tell me that you can revive the dead or turn back time. Deku start laughing, tell him, no, I don't have that kind of power. But if that power exists, maybe. Sai just sighed. Did you take care of them? Deku tell him, yeah, not only that, I destroyed their hideout or their nest. And during the process, I maybe killed them all. Sai looked at Deku with a face like, what are you, bro? He just told him good job. After that they wait for the miners to do their job. It took them few hours. After they finish, they go back. Deku explained what happened to Jin. Jin thanked him profusely, and Deku being Deku tell him don't mention it. And I think I'm going to stop it right here. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, drop a like and tell me what you think of it in comment section. And if you're not around here, consider subscribe and peace.